Hey, Spectrum, or Live, it's me, Spectrum Sensor, coming at you another video. In this video, I am finally doing something with the Owl House. The Owl House is a very good show that I personally enjoy, and, well, in this video, I kind of turned them into, MHA characters. Okay, I first do, Ida the Owl Lady, and feel like I barely changed up anything about her. I do a few things with Willow. I also work with Gus, and also I basically do a few interesting things with that. But also I do Luce and Amity. Amity being the fourth one, and Luce being the fifth one. So if you want to see what those drawings look like, stay tuned for the video. But without further ado, let's get into this video and roll intro and let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Okay, I'm the Infomaniac and I'm back again. And I'm going to a place. I've actually went to a place that's very, very secluded and barely anyone knows about it, except for most heroes and very high-ranking people in this world. It's a pocket dimension known as the Demon Realm, and this island is known as the Boiling Isles. People in this world have quirks, and pretty much every single high-ranking and a few wild witches know about the outside world, or Earth as they call it. They know about their powers, and they know that they're called quirks. So, yeah. But the origins of this place are very interesting. One person had a very powerful quirk that basically sealed him away in his own pocket dimension after he died because of how powerful his quirk was. You see, it was so powerful that when he died, it caused an explosion, and to contain it, its own power literally transferred all the energy, but the energy was so great, it created a pocket dimension. But, when that happened, it caused, it's basically a, replica of Earth, but with a few major differences, like the boiling sea and the boiling rain and all that. Hence the name Boiling Isles. Now, that's not the only thing completely different. Another thing that's completely different is the inhabitants. They all have weird mutations. Some of them, one look like a giant nose, and I was only able to go there because I have a contact there named Ida the Owl Lady, who's actually the first person. In this world, Ida the Owl Lady is Ida, aka Idolin Clawthorn. Her hero name, which she mostly just calls herself, I just used this format. It's a lot simpler. She's mostly known as the Owl Lady because of a power that she was given forcefully. In this world, they have quirk combinations that could cause and create something called a cursed quirk or curse quirks. Cursed quirks and cursed quirks are completely different. Cursed quirks can actually limit quirks, and cursed quirks are basically curses. Like her second quirk. Her first quirk is wild magic. It gives her access to any other type of magic you can possibly think of. In this world, there's things like a plant magic, abomination magic, light magic, stuff like that. But she also has the secondary quirk, which is the owl monster / harpy quirk. Turns out it was actually given to her by her sister Lilith. So that was a little interesting. She doesn't really follow anyone, and all the covens are actually hero agencies. They're all trying to get to Earth so they can unify it and all that. But there's a few things. Now Ida has learned to control her curse due to some help with a very weird artificial living quirk. These are very rare and very difficult to make. He's actually known as Hootie, and his quirk is simply House Demon. There's actually multiple types of these people, and as you can guess, he's basically a giant house. Her heartbeat powers are that of she can create wings and from her back, and she gains claw-like feet, and her arms turn to claws as well. She also has a staff that's an artificial quirk. These quirks are basically quirks that are outside, and they can use to amplify, enhance, and actually have their own abilities. Now, hers is the owl one, hence her name, the Owl Lady. But she's also known as the Owl Lady due to her cursed quirk. But her sister also shares it due to them making up and her taking part of the curse on, and she actually gains a interesting version of it. So let's get to the next one. Second person I met and talked to was someone named Willowpark. Her name, Mother Nature. Quirk, plant magic. Like the name suggests, she can control plants, but she also has the ability to make them do pretty much anything she wants. She can make them grow like someone's head. She did that after becoming a little popular. And people are actually pretty nice to her. But she was actually bullied by someone who later became pretty close friends and actually relatively nice. And my main contact's girlfriend. And yes, my main contact is a girl. So, yeah. We don't know anything about... I don't know much about her, other than she's very good friends with a main contact named Luz Naceda. And Luz Naceda is a very interesting individual. I'll get onto her on the last one. But they all go to a school called Hexside. They all have hero costumes, but they're pretty much uniformed. But some students are able to make modifications on their own free will. She decided to go for a regular hero given school outfit, but due to her originally being the Abomination track, she changed over to the green of the plant track. They also have something called quirk limiters. Basically, these are implants that if anyone was born with a rare quirk called Wild Magic, aka Ida's first quirk, these could be put into their body and basically limit them to only one quirk. But most people are born with only the affinity for really one type of magic. Well, one quirk. But it's a very interesting place to live, and also see how it runs and works and all that. Some fights she's been in. This one time she was really ticked. She actually erupted giant vines out around her. So, yeah. And also, one time, they invaded the number one hero, who's actually a villain. They invaded... He's known as Emperor Bellows. That's his actual hero name. But doing some digging, I found out he's actually a wanted fugitive in this world. But there's a few things that are weird, because the only reason why we know he's a wanted fugitive, because, the higher-ups have been able to get a spy in there, and they know a few things about what's going on. And he's been doing some human experiments. I believe, anyways. My information's a little dodgy, because I have to go through a lot to get this information. So, yeah, she's also fought the Emperor, but he easily blocked that. I believe she fought the Emperor, but I don't really remember. I think it was Lilith or something. But she fought a very powerful opponent. Lost, but still pretty interesting. She managed to get her hands on a modification enhancement quirk. It was a wearing type, and it was really a giant quirk that could enhance her abilities. She summoned a giant tree with fists. That was pretty cool. Let's get to the next one. The next one is someone known as Gus Porter. Hero name Illusionist. Quirk Illusion Magic. Like, most people actually made fun of this guy for having a quote-unquote weak quirk. When in reality, his quirk is a lot more powerful than it seems at first. You see, he has the ability to make illusions, but within the right hands, he's actually able to do quite a few things. Include making you see your worst nightmare. Now, he has the ability to do a few things that Oracle people can do, i.e. creating ghost illusions. But this one time, he went with a group of people with Luce's, it was Luce's idea for him to go. So when he went, he found an orb that was how do you put this? A naturally occurring artificial, well, it was a natural occurring quirk enhancer. These orbs enhance pretty much every single ability, but they're all created by illusionists, because most people don't think illusions are very powerful. But they can scare the living daylights out of you. And also, they can very limitedly move objects using their illusions. It takes a lot of concentration and a lot of strength and stamina out of them, but they can actually cause their illusions to become nearly solid, and their opponent's punches can pass right through, but their punches land on every single time, and they're pretty much double it. So, yeah, ouch. Now, be careful around this guy. Originally he was actually really short, and while Luce was gone for like a week, she came back and he was actually grown up to be the size of Willow and her. And so turns out it was a growth spurt. Very interesting too. Now, he does have a few interesting abilities. Other than that, he actually has the ability, thanks to Luce, to see quirk glyphs. Basically, these are primal quirks that she's able to see and actually copy down. I'll get more on that. That's really interesting, but that's just the gist of it. Now, he can actually use these himself, and most people can actually see these, but they don't really realize that they're natural occurring quirk glyphs. So they don't really pay attention to them. So that's a pretty bad idea, because that's actually what Emperor Bello outlawed. He calls it wild magic, when in reality it's not really wild magic. It's actually wild quirk powers. Trust me, they are very weird and very awesome. Trust me when I say I barely have any information on it. Now, the next person is the person I was talking about earlier. Name Amity Blight. Hero name Abomiformer. Quirk Abomination Magic. Now, you see, she has the ability to, create abominations, which are basically golems she can create of her own free will. But also, she has learned and trained to create daggers and wrap the abomination goo in her own hand, and she actually carries around some of it at all times with her now. Like I already stated, she is Luce's girlfriend, and the way they got together, originally Amity was a pretty big bully to her and Willow, but she soon grew to learn to be a lot nicer, and she also learned that turns out all this was because of her parents. So, and Amity pretty early on started developing a crush on Luce. But trust me, when I'm gonna tell you about Luce, it's gonna be pretty funny. Now, her hair originally was dyed green with some brown roots, and actually, from what she told me and Luce told me, the brown roots were actually supposed to be a silver rebellion against her mother. Her mother wants every single one of her children to be uniform. She was like, you ain't doing that. So she just had those little brown roots there. She now lets her hair free fall down instead of having it up in a ponytail. So, yeah. It was a pretty interesting occurrence. And her quirk is pretty powerful in and of itself. Now, what I mean by that is, she is really, really powerful. She has the ability to, well, like I already stated, create abominations, but these are more or less goopy golems. And she can actually make them mimic her doing whatever she wants. She can literally also they're pretty much mindless creatures. But with an enhancement quirk on her, she can actually, like the name suggests, she can also create create abominations that are 5 times the size of her original abominations. So very, very, very careful around that. Now, any other facts? She's actually became a lot nicer than originally. Originally, when first met Luce, she was a really big jerk. But over time, she grew to be out of a jerk phase, and she told Basha, an old friend of hers, that, quote-unquote, I've grown up. What about you? Oh, that was a burn and a half. Really, really hate Basha. So, yeah. I also did got information on her, but very limited. I'm going to do more research about her and see if I can say more about her. So that's all for Amity. Now, most of the other information is about both Amity and Luce. Also, Amity does work at a library, so it's pretty interesting. So, let's get to Luce. Luce Nacere, quirkless. Hear her name? The Good Witch Luce. Luce was actually, not really, how do I put this? She found the Ebola Isles from, it's hard to put this in words, but she found it by, walking through a portal. Now, what I mean is that she basically found a portal that was made by, Ida found it originally. But, she soon found out that it was actually a portal back to the human world, aka Earth. And she decided that she wanted to become a hero in this world. Her mother wanted her to get back to her, well, it's hard to put it, her mother wants her to basically, I'm trying to figure out the good way to put it. Basically wants her to calm down with her imagination is the best way I can put it. But due to her quirk, she's been able to see powers from people's attacks and other things, so for a pretty long time. But she's always dropped it off as her seeing things. But when she was tested and saw that her quirk was quirkless, it started to make more sense. And for the record, she only found out that her quirk was quirkless about a few weeks before she went through the portal. Now, she had an old friend named Azuka Midoriya. He actually told her about One for All with the permission from All Might, because he knew that she could keep a secret. So she now has the information on his quirk, but she also has a very interesting glyph from it. It's basically a number 9 with a circle and 2 lines through it. She can use that as enhancement and to power up every other quirk glyph she has. Now, she also has a few other glyphs, like a plant quirk glyph, a light quirk glyph, and also, if I remember correctly, a fire quirk glyph, as long as with an ice quirk glyph. She can also use the other glyphs to enhance things. And the guy named Hootie, quirk house demon. He literally managed to get Luce and Amity together from pretty much from him, well, being said that he was doing a lot of things wrong. When in reality, he actually helped them quite a bit. So, yeah. And Luce is actually able to have and show other people pretty much everything she can see. So, yeah, be very careful around Luce. But that's all of I got for today. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, because that's all the time I got for today. Until next time, subscribe to Spike Stormy or Demons Lions. Goodbye and peace out, everyone.